Have you ever stood by your windowsill in the quiet of the morning, looked at your young seedlings, and felt your heart slowly sink? It is a feeling every gardener knows too well. You look at those thin, pale, almost see-through threads that are barely standing up. It feels like the slightest touch, or even a tiny breeze, could snap them in half like a piece of dry straw. And then you think about your neighbor's plants. You've seen them. They look like tiny green soldiers. They are strong, stocky, and incredibly healthy, with thick stems that look as solid as pencils and dark green leaves that seem to be bursting with life and energy. It makes you wonder deep down, what are you doing wrong? You feel like you did everything exactly the same way. You used the same high-quality seeds, the same premium soil, and gave them the same amount of care and attention. Yet, your plants look fragile, exhausted, and ready to give up. Many gardeners start thinking they are missing some secret expensive fertilizer or some professional magic trick that the experts keep to themselves. But I am here to tell you that is not the case at all. The secret to thick, strong stems is not found in chemicals or fancy, expensive products. It is found in understanding the environment you create for your seedlings and, more importantly, how they naturally respond to it. Without even realizing it, you may be accidentally encouraging your plants to grow long, thin, and weak. Today, I am going to walk you through 5 very common mistakes that lead to stringy, leggy seedlings. I will show you exactly how to fix these issues in just one single week. Stay with me until the end of the video, because I will also demonstrate a simple, natural method that uses nothing but your hands to help your seedlings build real, physical strength in their stems. Hello, my dear gardening friends and fellow lovers of green windowsills. I know exactly how it feels when you look at your seedlings leaning over and your heart just sinks. You think you did everything right, yet they look so weak and fragile. But please don't worry, it is not your fault and it's not bad luck. Thick stems are pure biology. Your seedlings are incredibly smart living organisms. They are constantly scanning and adapting to the conditions around them. If they are stretching into thin threads, they are simply responding to the specific environment you have provided for them. Let's break down exactly what makes seedlings strong and how you can help them grow into healthy, stocky little plants that will thrive in your garden. The first factor that 99% of gardeners completely overlook is air movement. To understand why this matters, imagine a plant growing in the wild. A plant in nature never grows in perfectly still, stagnant air. There are always breezes. Sometimes they are strong gusts, and sometimes they are just gentle movements of air. Every single second of its life, the stem of a wild plant experiences tiny movements. It sways, it bends, and it constantly resists external pressure. Plants are genetically programmed to know one vital thing. If they grow tall and thin in a windy world, the first strong gust of wind will snap them in half, and their life will be over. To survive, the plant intelligently sends its energy away from vertical growth and into strengthening the base. It makes the stem thicker, stronger, and much more resilient to physical stress. Now, compare this natural process to a quiet apartment windowsill. In most homes, the air is completely still and calm. Your seedlings feel perfectly safe, almost like they are living in a sealed, protective capsule. They think nothing will ever harm them, and there is no wind to fight. Because of this, they put all of their biological energy into vertical growth, racing toward the light and completely ignoring the strength of the stem. The plant simply sees no reason to thicken the base when the environment is so still. The solution to this is simple, natural, and incredibly effective. We need to mimic that gentle wind. One method I have used for many years is very straightforward. Gently run your hand over the tops of your seedlings, almost as if you are stroking their little heads. Do this just a couple of times a day whenever you pass by your window. These tiny physical movements send a signal to the plant's cells that the environment is active and it needs to strengthen itself immediately. If you have a large number of seedlings, a small household fan works perfectly as well. Set it on the lowest possible setting and let it run for 10 to 15 minutes a day. This subtle air movement is enough to encourage the stems to double their thickness in just 1 week. Just be very careful with open windows. While ventilation is good, cold drafts can shock and damage those tender young roots. The second critical factor is light. Many beginners make the mistake of thinking that if a grow lamp shines for 10 hours a day, that is plenty. However, duration is only part of the equation. Stem strength depends not only on the length of the day, but also on the intensity of the light. Think of your plants as clever solar-powered machines. If there is not enough light or if the light is too dim, they activate what I call search mode. They reach upward as fast as they possibly can to find more light, hoping to break through whatever canopy they think is shading them. This is exactly what causes them to grow long, pale, and weak. To grow stems that are thick like pencils, the light must shine strongly from directly above. If you are using grow lights, do not hang them high up under the ceiling. The lamp should be very close to the tops of the seedlings, usually about 10 to 20 centimeters away, which is roughly 4 to 8 inches. You must watch your seedlings closely every day. If you see them leaning sharply toward the window, it is a clear sign they are starving for more light. Provide them with 12 to 14 hours of bright, high-intensity light every day. This will stop the vertical stretching and encourage the plant to start thickening its structure immediately. The third factor is temperature, specifically the difference between day and night. In most modern homes, seedlings sit on a warm windowsill, often right above a radiator. The room stays at a constant 25 degrees Celsius, or 77 Fahrenheit, both day and night. For the plant, this constant heat is a tropical signal that tells it to grow quickly, grow tall, and grow lushly. But to grow strong, stocky seedlings, we actually need cooler nights. Lowering the temperature by just 3 to 5 degrees at night slows down the vertical stretching and allows the stem tissue to become much denser and stronger. The ideal night temperature for most seedlings is 16 to 18 degrees Celsius, which is about 60 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. You don't need fancy equipment for this. Simply move the trays away from the hot radiators at night or close the curtains in a way that creates a cooler pocket of air between the window glass and the room. This small temperature drop is enough to stop the leggy growth and start thickening the stems naturally. The fourth factor is the root system. It is important to remember that the stem is just an extension of what is happening underground. Weak roots will always produce weak stems. If the soil you are using is too dense, compacted, or has poor drainage, it stunts the growth of the roots, and the top of the plant suffers immediately. To grow strong, healthy roots, the soil must be loose, airy, and full of oxygen. I always recommend adding perlite or vermiculite to your seed starting mixes to improve drainage and aeration. And don't forget the tiny helpers in the soil, the beneficial microbes. I use natural products containing bacillus bacteria. These microbes protect the roots from rot, stimulate deeper growth, and help the plant absorb vital nutrients like phosphorus and potassium. These are the exact elements that make stems thick, resilient, and strong. Always remember, healthy roots equal healthy, thick stems. The fifth and final factor is watering and nutrition. Believe it or not, overwatering is the biggest enemy of a strong stem. If the soil is constantly saturated and wet, the roots have no reason to grow deep or search for moisture. They stay small, shallow, and lazy. You should let the soil dry out slightly between waterings, down to about a couple of centimeters deep. When seedlings sense a mild thirst, they react by producing more root hairs and strengthening their internal vascular system to store and move water more efficiently. This internal pressure is what builds a thicker, stronger stem. When it comes to fertilizers, you must be very careful. Avoid giving too much nitrogen to young seedlings. While nitrogen encourages rapid growth and makes plants look dark green quickly, it often makes the tissue soft, watery, and weak. These are the stems that break the moment you try to transplant them. Nitrogen should always be balanced with phosphorus and potassium for structural strength. It is always better to slightly underfeed your plants than to overfeed them and force that weak, leggy growth. To recap everything we've discussed, if you want seedlings that will make your neighbors ask you for your secret, you simply need to give your plants the right natural signals. Provide bright, high-intensity light. Simulate gentle air movement. Allow for cooler nights. Avoid soggy soil, and do not overfeed them with nitrogen. Within just 1 week, you will see those stringy seedlings transform into thick, strong pencils, ready for transplanting and a healthy, fruitful season. If you enjoyed these tips and you want your garden in 2026 to be the absolute pride of your neighborhood, please subscribe to my channel. Here, we share practical, honest advice that has been tested for decades. Give this video a like so other fellow gardeners can find it. Share it with your friends and gardening groups. And please, tell me in the comments, what is your biggest seedling challenge this February? I read every comment and I'm here to help. Until next time, may your hard work bring only abundant harvests and joy.